AI in the classroom. AI, the new buzzword uh, in today's industry. So we are going to be talking about AI in the classroom, and you're going to get a chance to explore with Carlson School's expert faculty about how their business analytics program is now placing a special emphasis on artificial intelligence, and what could prospective students such as you who are present in the audience uh, gain insights into the new opportunities which are being offered within the classroom by hearing directly from the faculty director, as well as from some of the esteemed professors who are on the panel today. We also have someone who's from the admissions team who's going to be talking about the various different options that Carlson School of Management, University of Minnesota has to offer you. So before I go into a quick round of introductions, okay, I see quite a few of you who are still trickling in. So I am going to continue with the introductions. I would like to begin. My name is Sabahat Herzog. I represent Seed Global Education, which is a UK headquartered company, and we facilitate interactions between top global universities like the one that we have here with us today and prospective students like yourselves, giving you a chance to explore the different programs, understand the different career prospects, etc., and help you make the right choices regarding your higher education and career plans. On the panel with me today is Garth, who is the Associate Director of Recruiting for the Carlson School of Management MBA and MS programs. Garth has spent his career in higher education, assisting prospective students such as yourself at all points of your education journey. He is your go-to person if you have any questions, which y'all can keep throwing at us in the Q&A box during the course of the session. Joining us today is also Dr. Da, who is the Academic Director for the MS in Business Analytics, that is the MSPA program at the Carlson School, and he teaches analytics and information systems. He takes courses at the undergraduate level, master's level, and the PhD level. We also have with us Professor Yang, who is the Associate Professor in the Department of Information and Decision Sciences at Carlson School of Management, University of Minnesota. He teaches business analytics and machine learning related to topics at the graduate and the executive level. So thank you so much, everyone on the panel, for joining us today. We know it's very early and it's a snowy day is what I believe back home for you guys. But thank you so much for braving the snow and joining us here today with this session. But to all 180 of you and counting, before we get started with today's session, what I'm going to be doing is I want to run a quick poll question for today, and about how do you perceive the impact of AI on the future of business decision making? Do you think it's going to be a limited impact where traditional methods sort of remain dominant? Do you think it's going to be a significant transformation where AI becomes a primary driver of decision making? Or do you feel it's going to be a moderate shift with AI complementing the traditional approaches of business decision making? Or are you someone who's unsure and has joined this masterclass to know more about this? So to all of you in the audience, if you can cast your vote, I have my first poll question on the screen for you about how do you perceive the impact of AI? What do you think is going to be the impact of AI on the future in the business decision-making process? Do you think it's going to be a very limited impact, a significant impact, a moderate impact, or are you someone, like I said, who's unsure and has joined this masterclass to know more from the experts? I am going to wait for a couple of more seconds before I end the first poll for the day. So I would request everyone in the audience to please click and cast your votes. So for a couple more seconds till it's on, and then we are going to wait for a few more seconds. Thank you, Samuel. Yasu said, I've seen it and answered it. Thank you. We are just waiting for the others to answer. And here is the result for the first poll question. Wow. Interestingly, 59% of the audience feels that there will be a significant transformation where AI becomes a primary driver of decision making. So thank you so much, everyone, for casting your votes. Before we jump into this very insightful and exciting topic, I would request Garth to please take us through his presentation, and let's get to know a little bit more about the Carlson School of Management at the University of Minnesota. Over to you, Garth.
Thank you so much, Sabahat. Let me go ahead and share my screen very quickly. Okay, so we're here today to really give you all a deep dive into our Master of Science in Business Analytics program here at the Carlson School of Management at the University of Minnesota. I'm just going to give you all the briefest logistical overview of the program before handing it off to who you're really here to listen to, which are our amazing faculty we have here today to talk you through some of the really cool and interesting changes that are occurring in our curriculum and our new emphasis on artificial intelligence in the field of business analytics. So our MS in Business Analytics program is really a highly technical, rigorous STEM designated program that seeks to combine the technical aspects of data science, AI, with the business aspects of consulting skills and learning how to find business insights from the data and then apply them in a business setting. There's a real emphasis on experiential learning, hands-on learning in this program, where you're not only going to be learning in the classroom, you're also going to be applying in the classroom as well. That's something that's very important to us. This program we find has the most impact for early career professionals or recent undergraduates as well. That's not to say that we do have students that are later on in their careers, but we find that this program has the most impact for those early career professionals. And as far as the logistics of the program go, it's a 12-month program that starts in the fall. So the next time the program will be starting is fall of 2024 in September. The program is a total of 45 credits, including several elective credits. It's a lockstep full-time program. So you're going to be with the same cohort of students all the way through, which is great both from a learning and also a networking perspective. You're going to get really close to your cohort, and you're going to, of course, go out with them into your careers and have a really great network just from the get-go. Again, this program is STEM designated, so especially for those of you that are looking closely at how much OPT time you're going to be receiving after you graduate from the program, this program is STEM designated. Also up on this slide here, you can see a variety of averages from our class profile. You can see generally where our students are at in terms of things like years of work experience, age, average GPA. Note that these are averages. So for some of our students, they're above these numbers. For some of our students, they're below these numbers. And if you're ever curious or ever want to reach out and talk to us about your specific profile and to see if you're a good fit for this program, don't hesitate to reach out to us at all. You can also see some of our impressive numbers and averages we have here up on the screen, including our average job offer rate for the program for the last 8 years, as well as our rankings, the average starting salary and sign-up bonus. And then this program does offer merit scholarships up to $20,000. Review for scholarships is automatic, and you receive your scholarship offer the same time you receive your offer of admission. Then some just last few quick points here, specifically in terms of the application itself. You can see over on the left, we have our deadline. So we actually have a deadline coming up here very shortly on the 15th of January. So there's still time to start and submit an application if you want to submit by that deadline. That is our priority deadline for international students. Just note that the January 15th deadline is the priority deadline. You can also see our final deadline for international students that are outside of the US is March 15th. And then our final deadline for international applicants that are within the US is May 15th. And then just a couple of points here about the application itself. We do have 2 prerequisites for this program that need to be completed by the time you apply, and those are a proficiency in calculus and a proficiency in programming. You can see the languages that we accept for that proficiency prerequisite up on the screen. And if you have absolutely no programming experience whatsoever, and we do have methods and ways for you to fill that prerequisite through things like online Coursera courses. We do highly recommend that you do Python though, because it's not necessarily taught at the very beginner level. The other point I want to highlight is our GMAT or GRE test optional policy. Essentially, if you have a cumulative undergraduate GPA of at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, that's equivalent to a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, then it's optional for you to submit your GMAT or GRE. If you do not meet that GPA threshold, you are required to submit a GMAT or GRE. And again, I know I've gone through this very quickly. I just wanted to give the briefest primer to give the most amount of time to Professor Liu and Professor Yang. But if you have any questions for myself, don't hesitate to reach out. Feel free to send us an email at msba@umn.edu with any questions at all. And I'm also more than happy to do some kind of a Zoom appointment with you in the future as well. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Sabahat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Garth, for that insightful session. I know all of you are now waiting to get started and know more about the program. I am going to quickly run my second poll for the day since Garth is done, and now you all have an understanding about the program which is being offered. So the second poll question is on the screen today, which is, which intake are you interested in applying for an MS program in the US? Are you looking at 2024? Are you looking at 2025? Or are you someone who's looking at pursuing it 2026 or later? To all 350 of you in the audience, if you could quickly go and cast your votes and let us know which intake are you interested in applying to. Garth has been kind enough to give us all of the dates, and you know that your deadlines are approaching. So let us know which one of you is looking to crack it this year and make it to the 2024 deadline. I am going to keep the poll running for a short span of time. Most of you, I believe, have answered. So for those who are still remaining, if you could cast your answers quickly. I know there's quite a few questions which have come in the Q&A box. I request you all to please stay till the end of the session. We will be taking up all of the relevant questions. With that, I'm going to end the poll question and share the results. 58% of the audience is looking at applying for 2024. So you have the details with you, and Garth will also share his contact details with you. You know who to get in touch with. Thank you. With that, I now request Dr. Dar to please get started with his presentation.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Good evening and good morning, everyone. And thank you, Sabahat, for having the opportunity. Let me play my slide. So I'm excited to give a little quick overview of our curriculum with some highlights on some recent updates related to our AI in business focus. As you have seen from Garth's slide earlier, also our programs enjoy a high rank in MSBA and US, as well as in the related discipline MIS program, where most of our instructors that's our home department for our instructors. And we're proud to have a very good placement record since the inception of the program, which is 2014. And this reflects how talented our students are and how competitive they are in the job market. So today, I'm going to be briefly give you a quick overview of our curriculum and kind of go over some of the courses outline, and then I'll talk about some recent updates in AI in business. So if I am to summarize how our curriculum, our characteristic of our curriculum, I call it REST. By that, I mean rigorous, efficient, systematic, transformative. So this house of analytics is how we conceptualize our program, because analytics programs we conceive as you require foundation topics, including data engineering, stats, and programming. On top of it, you need different dialect of analytics skills, including descriptive analytics that help you understand what happened. And you also need predictive analytics, like predict, whether a patient's gonna get sicker, and so on. And you also need causal inference analytics, help you understand what causes this outcome. And finally, you need prescriptive analytics, where help you optimize, given your understanding, given your prediction, how you can best line up your resource and achieve the best outcomes. All of these technical topics need to be brought together with professional skills, including you need to have understanding of businesses, and you also need strong communication skills, teamwork skills, and ethical use of data. These are brought together to bring transformative changes to businesses. And if our program is designed in such a way that you can actually accomplish get all the essential skills in this domain in 3 semesters, and it's very systematic and efficient. And in the end, A lot of our students report this is a very transformative year for them, and I believe it's also transformative with the knowledge learned from the program. They can go out to the industries and transform the business with data and data science. So a very quick kind of overview of how our service semester are designed. I highlight a few characteristics of our curriculum. So in the first semester, which is in the fall, that you learn the fundamentals, management fundamentals and technical fundamentals. We have a business essential course that get you quickly up to speed in terms of the finance and accounting operations. And we, of course, have the statistic fundamentals, Python programming, SQL data management courses. And actually, Professor Mochenian will be teaching the Intro to Business Analytics course that give you kind of a first round of exposure of this domain in a systematic way. Along these lines, we also teach a module on communication and a module on teamwork. I want to highlight that throughout the program, you have experiential learning opportunities where you can interact, actually do projects with real company and real data. In the first semester, we call what we call a 4-week live case competition organized among our students and with the real client. And we also have a so-called trend market where it's more open-ended. You're gonna do a project and present to external judges in our atrium in open format. In the second semester, where you learn a lot of the bread and butter, we call analytics toolkits. So that include exploratory data analytics and predictive analytics. I teach a course in big data, and we also have a course on causal inference. This is a semester we include an elective where you can also take subjects such as general AI. And again, in the second semester, we have another chance for experiential learning, which is also a live case and another trend market. So all these prepare you for the final semester, where you can see there's on the right, there's experiential learning projects. So this is actually this year, for example, we have 20 also projects with real companies and real data, and you're gonna pick the topic, pick the client that you like the most, and then work with that for the entire semester. And those are guided by faculty advisors and supported by the Carlson Analytics Lab. In the meantime, you take up advanced topics such as responsible AI and time series and forecasting. And you also have a chance to do electives like AI for natural language processing, recommender system, and optimization. So that's a really, really quick overview. I want to spend a little bit of time on how the recent exciting update that regarding the AI in business focus of our program. So recently we have just completed a new curriculum review. The last one we did in 2019, and we felt the field progressed so much we need another update. So we actually went to our alums. We went to our alums and also went to our board of advisors and all sorts of source information. One of the major topics identified is that we need to expose our students to more AI topics, especially in light of the recent rapid development in the general AI space. I guess before I kind of go deeper, I want to kind of just explain, like, there are different concepts of AIs. So if you think about AIs, there's a general term of artificial intelligence. So those are referring to, can you make a machine or a program to behave or make decisions in a way like humans? So this could be rule-based, set up the automation rules. It could be or more data-driven. So within that sub-discipline, there's a machine learning, which actually our program, a lot of our courses like exploratory data analytics or predictive analytics are essentially some way or form of machine learning. And within the machine learning, so machine learning is about having machines using data that you accumulate and then learn patterns, and so you can use those patterns, right? And within that, there's a deep learning. So deep learning is the foundation for more than these AI applications. These have the part of that is deep neural networks and give you the power of AI. And several courses actually deal with some of the subsets of deep learning. And then there's general AI that your ChatGPT and Midjourney, so that you're familiar with. So when we learn from our alums as well as our board advisors, they felt, for future data professionals, they want our graduates to be proficient in those topics and have actually intimate experience of using it to make them more productive. They felt these are the tools that can make a lot of people more productive, including the data science professionals. So you need to know and make good use of these tools. And they also need a lot of help in understanding the different tools out there. Like you need to understand what these are capable of, what are the boundaries, and how you can make them mitigate the risks, and so on and so forth. So that's how our curriculum update kind of geared towards addressing some of these issues. We already have a lot of the like deep learning topics, but even before we have had them for several years, we added a few things that we felt is also very important. So now going back to these boxes, starting from the second semester, we have 2 critical courses in our program: exploratory data analytics. The other way to think of this is unsupervised machine learning. And our professors already introduced that AI topics, that is how to use tools such as large language models like ChatGPT for data exploration. For example, one of the topics in that course now recently added or updated is that how can you use ChatGPT as a tool to automatically extract topics from unstructured text, and then use that topics extracted for a data science pipeline, like classification or categorization of text, and so on. So that give you a new way of doing it, a new, actually more effective way of doing things that we previously don't have. In the predictive analytics course, again, the bread and butter course of our program, you learn actually the deep understanding of the deep neural networks, deep learning, basically the CNN, RNNs. The professors actually will make our students train models, actually do a sample of images, even use some GPUs to actually train some model. You have intimate experience with how these deep learning models, which give rise to modern AI, modern generative AI applications. I heard that was a very exciting exercise. So you have a kind of good understanding. In the same semester, you can choose elective, the new elective called General AI, that aims to give you a good exposure of this topic, both as a user kind of understanding and how you can leverage that in the business. In the last semester, third semester, we have a required course on responsible AI. It's also a relatively new course. We had one before, now we involve it to strengthen that course also. So that it's very important for there are a lot of the general AI and AI in general bring a lot of risks, fairness biases, and so it's important that you understand those risks and have the tools available to you to help organizations to build more robust AI tools and more fair AI tools and more responsible AI tools in general. So we're excited to bring this course so that you can not only can talk about it, but actually have the algorithms, approaches, the tools to deal with some of the most demanded issue in this space, right? And a few other courses are having components of AI, including time series forecasting. There you use powerful LSTM and transformer models to make predictions as an alternative to classic forecasting approaches. And actually, there's also a course dedicated to natural language understanding using both classic and modern AI approaches and recommender system. I won't go into details, but if you want, we have a page on our website that dive into more details on these AI offerings. I want to highlight that because of the pre-existing AI courses and also the new ones that we bring on board. Now, actually, the new cohort of students will have a chance to choose AI for business track. It's quite simple. Because we have a bunch of electives. If you take 2 AI-focused elective courses, specifically general AI course as well as advanced AI for natural language understanding, you can basically get a badge, AI for business that you can put on your resumes. So to highlight that you are getting more exposure to this domain. I think that's all I want to talk about. I'll be happy to answer any questions. If you put in the chat box, I'll be happy to follow up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. There are quite a few questions which have come in the chat window, but I would now request Professor Yang to go ahead with his presentations, and we will take all of the questions at the end of that presentation.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bill, for that presentation. I will also echo some of the information that you mentioned in my presentation. So hopefully everybody can hear me and see my slide, but just in case you have any trouble, just let us know. Welcome everyone. I see that there are almost 370 of you. So thanks everyone for showing up and participate. This is a great showing. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about what it feels like to sit in an MSBA classroom in the Carlson School of Management. And specifically, how does AI factor into the way that we teach different courses from my personal perspective? So I want to start by giving you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Mo-Chen Yang, and I'm associate professor at Information Decision Science Department. Both as a professor and as an instructor, my passion is to help people and organizations make better decisions with tools from machine learning and business analytics in general. So I am sort of involved in the MSBA program in terms of teaching 2 courses, one at the very beginning and one at the very end. So the first course I teach, which if you join the MSBA program with us, will be the very first course, one of the very first courses that you ever take, is MSBA 6131, Introduction to Business Analytics in R. And if you choose to if you choose to go for the AI track and or just select this elective, I will also see you at the very end and teach the MSBA 6461. This is the AI for Natural Language Understanding course. Now, I want to focus my presentation on these 2 courses because I teach them. Both courses involve the use and exposure to AI, but in very different ways. And the presentation I'm about to give is trying to give you a taste of what we're going to cover in these 2 courses and how would you experience the use of AI technology in these courses. Now, I want to make this presentation a little bit more interactive. So let me start with a little question for you. Now, you can't do this kind of thing without a fancy futuristic AI image. So here you go. Question is, imagine you have an AI, and by AI here specifically, just think about the most, fancy recent GPT-enabled AI systems. Imagine you have an AI system equipped with expert knowledge on business analytics. Okay, so what does that mean? Think about yourself. If you enroll in our MSBA program 1 year or 1.5 years from now, when you graduate, you'll be an expert on business analytics. So think about this AI already having that knowledge in its internal knowledge base. What would be one question you want to ask this AI system? So think about this question and type your question in the Zoom chat. In a couple minutes, I will select one of the questions and I'll show you one of the ways we can use AI in the classroom. So let me just enable chat on my end so I can see the things you type. So while you guys are thinking about the question you want to ask this AI system, this business analytics expert AI, I'm going to start talking about the first course I teach. And as I mentioned, this is going to be one of the first courses in the fall semester that sort of take you into the world of business analytics. Now, at the very beginning, you guys answered a poll in terms of what do you think is the role of AI in business transformation? And I'm really glad to see that 32% of you think about AI as a complementary set of technology to traditional approaches. I personally really echo with that view as well. And this particular course is designed exactly with that in mind. This course is designed not necessarily to teach you about AI yet, but to build a solid foundation of business analytics and machine learning, upon which you will be able to learn a lot more things down the line in the program. So the first component of this course is really to expose you to the foundational, to the fundamentals. So basic, fundamental, and widely used concepts and techniques in business analytics, things that you may have already heard about, but don't necessarily know how to do. Things like association rule, cluster analysis, classification, numeric prediction, model evaluation, model selection, things like that. It also comes with a really, really deeply involved hands-on section, meaning that we will expose you to a programming language called R in order to really analyze some data sets and solve real-world problems. At the same time, I think one of the most important hallmark features of this particular course and in general of our MSBA program is that we also put a big emphasis on how you communicate your analytics effort. We don't just teach you about the technical stuff. We also teach you how to communicate your technical effort with relevant stakeholders, because at the end of the day, when you become a business analytics professional, you need to be able to do the analysis and also communicate your results, interpret your results, and convince people to make business decisions based on your analysis. So there's also a communication aspect built into this course. And all of this, at the end of the day, culminate into the live case. This is a four-week experiential learning component towards the end of the semester, where you will work in groups and solve a real-world business analytics problem with a real-world client using actual data. Now, how does AI factor into this course? Here's how it factors into the course. Throughout this course, you will have access to what I call a MSBA 6130 AI Buddy. And what this AI Buddy does is that it is basically a TA chatbot that is powered by GPT-4, and it will be able to answer your analytics-related questions using my lecture material as its external knowledge base. So just to give you a quick sneak peek of what it looks like, this is what the system will be. This is what the system would generally look like with a little bit of modification to come. And this is a good time for me to select the questions you want to ask. We will be able to ask the question you want to ask live while I'm doing the presentation, and we'll come back to the screen to see what the AI chatbot would answer it. So there's a ton of questions in the chat. I won't be able to do all of them. So I'm going to just pick one. Okay, great. So as a business consultant, what would be the impact of AI on business consultancy service? I think this is a very general and interesting question. So I'll just ask this question. I will come back to the presentation after the slide, or go back and look at the answers. So as I was mentioning before, right after you enter the program and enter this course, you'll be given access to this particular AI chatbot. As you learn the content of the course, you will be able to use this AI chatbot as your learning companion. It'll be available throughout the course and potentially throughout the entire MSBA program if we can figure out the details. So use it as your learning buddy. And this is how we give you the first exposure to modern AI systems and how it can help you in terms of making decisions and learning stuff. And just in case you're wondering, this thing will not be able to do your homework for you. If you ask it to do the homework for you, it will actually help you through learning the important concepts, but refrain from actually answering the homework questions for you. So let's come back, and hopefully it's already generated. Well, it's still thinking, so let's give it some time. And let me move on to talk about the second course. Now, suppose you like what you just saw in terms of the AI chatbot. You might be thinking, how do I build something like that in reality, right? We're just using it right now. Well, that's what MSBA 6461 is designed to do. we will actually dive into the nitty-gritty details of natural language understanding and large language model and give you a glimpse into how you can actually build and use such modern AI systems like ChatGPT. So this course covers very important innovations, recent and very cutting-edge natural language understanding innovations, such as deep learning neural networks, word embeddings, attention mechanism, transform models, large language models, and all of those things. We will be diving into very technical details, just because this is an elective course, and I want to sort of cover important technical details so that you have the relevant skill. At the same time, we will also talk about various different business applications that you might consider using these technologies for. And your task in this course at the end of the day is that you will be able to build your own large language model application as the result of this course. So that's the bulk of my presentation, and I'm hoping, yeah, there we go. It's giving you an answer, actually, a 14 bullet point answer. So it says the impact of artificial intelligence on business consultancy is far-reaching and significant. It's giving you different ways that AI can impact business consultancy, like data analytics, data analysis and insights, process automation, predictive modeling. And by the way, many of these are actually covered in the MSBA program. Decision-making support, scalability, talent training, strategic planning, network relationships, blah, blah, blah. Very comprehensive answer as far as I can tell. Now, I know I just picked one question out of many that you guys typed into the chat. So if you're curious how this system will be able to answer your question, consider joining our program and you'll have access to the system. So that's my presentation, and that's what it feels like to be using AI technology in MSBA classroom. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have in the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Yang. That was very insightful, and quite a few questions that came up in the chat box with all the students. An interesting one was, what is the probability of getting admission in the MSBA program at the Carlson Business School? I don't think we need ChatGPT for that. I am sure the experts on the panel can answer that question for the audience at least. So, okay. I'm going to jump directly into the Q&A box. Quite a few questions which have come up. One question, of course, which is being asked by quite a few people, Garth, if you would like to take this on, is about the scholarships and, of course, the program fees, etc. If you can give some insights as to that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, of course. So in terms of the program fees and everything like that, I'd be happy to post a link just so everyone can see it all written out. I always find it's helpful to have an actual reference to go to. So I'll be posting that shortly. But just to kind of reiterate, I know I mentioned it briefly in my presentation in regards to scholarships. When you apply to our program, every single student is automatically considered for all scholarships they're eligible for. So that means that you don't have to fill out 20 additional forms to be considered for every single scholarship. It's all automatic. We do what's called a holistic review when we consider a student for both scholarships and admissions. Holistic review means that we consider every single component in a student's application simultaneously. We never look at a single fact or figure in a vacuum. It's all considered together. It's highly individualized. We take a look at the entire student story. And then when a student is admitted into the program, they will also receive their scholarship offer at the same time. Historically, we've given out a maximum of 20,000 to individual students in scholarships, but we're still very early in the cycle, so that number could look higher this year. We're not quite sure yet. But if you have any further questions about scholarships or anything like that, always feel free to connect with me, and I'd be happy to have more conversation about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Garth. If you could drop a link in the chat window for everyone, I'm sure that would be very helpful to everyone who's attending today. Another question which quite a few students have asked, any one of you can take this on, is about, are there any certifications or courses which they could look into or they should look into if they are planning to pursue an MSBA program?
So I can start maybe answering this one, and then if
Yes.
Don and Mochen, if you want to jump in as well. So basically for this program, there is no required undergraduate background. There's no required professional background. We do have those prerequisites though. So you need to have a foundation in calculus and programming, and that's important because this is a highly technical program. So we want all the students that are entering this program to thrive and succeed in the classroom. So from my perspective, what I'd say is the more of a foundation you're able to get on the technical side of things before you apply or enter the program, the more competitive you'd be in general. But maybe Da or Mo-Chen, you could jump in and just talk a bit about have students from backgrounds besides highly technical backgrounds been able to find success in the classroom?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not on the admission person, but as a program, what we're observing our students successful is, we have students from all kinds of background, whether science, engineering, or from business. We even have students from fields like journalism and agriculture. Once in a while we have. I think the key thing is, that you're pursuing a data science professional. We want you to be passionate about this field. And you also need to have the necessary sort of prerequisites preparation. You have some programming preparation, you have some, math-related preparation, either from your course, from your college degree, or we have on our website, we have one of those designated list of alternatives if you don't already have in your undergrad degree, and you want to demonstrate either you have pursued those interests or demonstrate that you have interest, whether from your work or you have done some project that shows you have experience and passion about it, right? I think those are the critical. I think in terms of the mission, I don't think we particularly select a certain fields and majors because the result is from students from all kinds of backgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with Professor De, and from my personal observation experiences, we have admitted a wide array of students with a wide array of backgrounds, and all of them were able to thrive in the program. I remember having students in my classroom with undergrad degree in accounting, in English, in history. And they are not, so please don't let your undergrad background sort of stop you from applying. And what at the end of the day make a difference is whether you are truly passionate about this and whether you are willing to do the hard work and learn.
Great. Just a follow-up question to that, is there a prerequisite in terms of number of years of work experience?
So no prerequisite for years of work experience. We do admit students directly out of undergrad. I will say about a third of our students come directly out of undergrad. If they are coming out of undergrad, we do like to see some kind of internship experience. So I'd say the most competitive students have some kind of years of work experience, but we absolutely still admit students directly out of undergrad.
Okay, great. I hope that answers quite a few questions which had come in the Q&A box with people coming in from different backgrounds. So I hope this has shed some light and given you some insight as to how eligible you are to apply. There is another question which I would like to take on, which is about how does, I think someone answered it, but I'll still take it for the majority of the audience which is present, is how does the integration of AI in the business analytics program benefit prospective students or students who are looking to come to Carlson in terms of skill development and career opportunities?
I can start with that. We have an advisory board. We meet about once or twice a year. In the last year or two, because of the ChatGPT, and everyone's talking about how they impact their organization. They want their employees to leverage, and they see it as a productivity tool. And they tell us, when we interview a candidate, we want them to actually talk about how did you use general AI in your work, and specifically your data science work, right? And they want to be able to have candidates who understand these tools, help them develop their own capabilities. So there are two kind of different needs. I think that's why we kind of integrate in our courses, because some courses teach you how to use, hey, you have this powerful tool that you can quickly generate, graphs and data explorations or text features that are newly available, you should totally leverage. So those part of it, and then Professor Chen and some other courses teach you the theories, so you can responsible AI is very critical to this field, and these give you a competitive advantage. I think we're providing those just in time. Hopefully, we're one of the few programs that provided actually sooner than other programs, so that our candidates are in demand once you have this experience and understanding. Yeah.
Great. Someone in the audience wants to know, what is the OPT duration post pursuing an MSBA program from Carlson?
Yeah, absolutely. So the OPT duration is you get an additional 2 years for STEM designated programs. So that's 3 years total of OPT time through the MSBA program.
Okay, great. I hope that answers your question, Kanika. The next question revolves around the TOEFL or the IELTS requirement for someone who's done their basic education in English. Also, adding on to that, Gart, can you even speak a little bit more about, I had seen some questions regarding GMAT or the GRE requirement for this particular course as well.
Of course, yeah. So I'll start with the TOEFL and the IELTS. We do have very hard score minimums for the TOEFL and the IELTS if you're required to take it. And that's just, first off, it's just university policy. We have to keep to those minimums. So even if you're 0.5 below one of your sub-scores, that's still, you would have to have a qualifying score in order to apply to this program. And I'm sure Do and Mo-Cheng can attest to the importance of being able to really communicate well in the classroom and on projects with clients. And so, yeah, you can see all of those score minimums on our website, on the application requirements website, which I'd be happy to post here shortly. In terms of the GMAT or GRE, we are test optional if you meet a certain GPA threshold. So if you have the equivalent to a cumulative undergraduate GPA of at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, which is a B average, then it's not required that you submit a GMAT or GRE test score with your application. If you don't meet that GPA threshold, you would be required to submit a GMAT or GRE test score.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope that answers the questions. Very quickly, I know we spoke about people coming in from different backgrounds and how they can apply. But there is a question from someone who's mentioned that they have done an online MBA and are currently interested in pursuing the MSBA program. Do you accept online certifications as well?
Yeah. So any kind of degrees we'll want to, any kind of like undergraduate, graduate degrees we'll want to know about in your application. So please be sure to include all of that information when you're applying, hopefully by our January 15th deadline.
Great, great. A few questions people have asked, is there any application fee waivers which you are offering the students?
No, we're unfortunately not able to offer application fee waivers for the program.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take my next question, and someone wants to know, does this particular MSBA course even include natural language processing? Is that one of the cores of this particular course as well?
Yes, it is. There are several courses probably cover different pieces of natural language processing, but the elective course that I'll be teaching, AI for natural language understanding, is a major source of that knowledge. So from the sort of traditional approach of bag of words all the way to very cutting edge natural language understanding techniques, we'll be doing that.
Great. I hope that answers your question. This is a very important question which we usually get, Garth. It's around, are 4 years of undergraduate degree mandatory for a master's program at Carlson, or do you all happily accept students who have 3 years of undergraduate degree?
Great question. So in order to apply to our program or any program here at the University of Minnesota in the Carlson School of Management, you need to have the equivalent to a 4-year U.S. bachelor's degree. Typically, we get this question a lot in regards to 3-year degrees from India. Typically, a student with a 3-year degree from India needs an additional year of graduate education before they can apply to our program. That being said, though, if you want to be doubly sure and double check to see if your combination of degrees would be considered equivalent to a 4-year U.S. bachelor's degree, I'm going to post an email address here in the chat. It's basically our central graduate office, and you could send them your transcripts with your proof of degrees, and then they'll tell you definitively whether or not you can apply to our program.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm sure that that is very insightful and helpful to most of the students present in the audience, since majority of the students in India do have a 3-year degree program. Another interesting question which has come up is, what are the job prospects, or what are the kind of job roles that someone who does an MSBA, be eligible for, or what are the kind of job roles that they can look forward to?
I can say a few about that. I think the most common job types are data analyst, data scientist, machine learning scientist, business analyst consultants, and data engineers, business intelligence engineers. So those are the most common titles. You can see some are geared more towards business, some are more geared towards maybe science or engineering. It kind of depends on the student background and their strengths. They pursue somewhat slightly different subfield in this domain.
Great, thank you.
One thing I was just going to add one thing super quickly, Sabahat, is that I mean, as you all know, data is such a massively growing field, and so really every industry now needs data people. So these kinds of roles that Dr. Dutt just described, you'll see them in every industry, from manufacturing to tech to medicine. And so just a lot of opportunities across all kinds of different industries in those types of roles.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, Gun. Another follow-up question is about the Career Center, or for new students who are looking to apply to Carlson. How exactly does someone go about getting assistance? Because a lot of students are looking for assistance with their visa processes, etc. So what is the process at Carlson? How do you help out international students with the entire process till they get to the university?
Yeah, so you mentioned the Career Center, so I could talk a little bit about that. But first, I'll start with the visa question. So basically, when a student is admitted into the program, and if they decide to enroll at that point, they'll work with we have a team here that will help them navigate any kind of questions that they have about the visa process. And then if they need any documents from us, those will be provided at that time. But that process doesn't really start until a student has already been admitted and decides to enroll in the program. As far as the Career Center goes, I'd say, and I'm going to probably pass it off to Dun Mochen to talk a bit about this too. I'd say it's a really core part of the program. It's one of the great benefits of the program. Not only do they help students with basic things like developing a resume or networking, they have a lot of experience working with international students and helping them navigate the U.S. job market. And I mean, and you saw on Doug's slides just the impressive job placement numbers that we have for our students, for our graduates. And I think that's not only a testament to our amazing students, but it's also a testament to the resources that we have available to them, and how we help them from day one of their program with every step of the way of resume development, finding jobs to apply for, connecting with alumni. It's just a really comprehensive process, and they really help our students thrive here. But yeah, feel free to jump in and say anything else.
Yeah, indeed. The career office actually starting from orientation, they have actually a day dedicated to career, because we wanted to, because you only have 1 year and you need to study intensively. We want to immerse right into like how to navigate US market, like all aspect, networking. They organize events, all kinds of events as well. Career fair. So there's a career fair, a company come here, talk about there. And we have networking sessions, mentorships from alums, and then eventually to sending your resume books to our contact positions and help organize this kind of job search process. All that is well supported, and I think that it's important for our student to reach out to career center, because they are ready to serve. And think sometimes it's our students need to be nudged to, hey, please make an interview appointment or walk through your resume. So that, I think, our experience, as long as students are working hard at it, and usually the outcomes, it's good.
Great, great. Thank you so much. One very interesting question by someone in the audience. I'm going to rephrase this a little bit. They want to know what are the key qualities that Carlson School looks for in a successful applicant. So I'll sort of remold this. I know we've all spoken about the basics, about what are the scores that they need, which courses they can do. But what Garth and people on the panel, if you all could shed some light as to what is it that a student can do that really helps them sort of shine out or stand out or makes them the ideal applicant to the Carlson School of Management?
Yeah, I'd be happy to kind of kick things off, but I'd also love to hear from Mochen and Duh about what they see in the classroom and how they see students as being successful in the program from their perspective. But from my perspective, from the admissions side of things, again, I go back to that holistic review piece, right? We look at the entire student story, but we also ask ourselves a couple of questions. First and foremost, will this student be successful academically? That's something that's very important to us. We never want to admit a student that we don't believe is going to thrive in the classroom. So that's one of the first questions we ask. We also ask, though, will this student be a positive contribution to our community? Are they a good communicator? Are they a leader? Are they a good team member? So that's where we really pay attention to things like the personal statement, the interview, the video essay, to really try and suss out, will they be that positive contributor to our to the community side of things? But yeah, I'd love to hear what Doe and Munchin have to say about this as well.
I like to echo the same points. I think, besides, first of all, the unit have the kind of intellectual capacity to handle, because our program is demanding program. We have a lot of, technical courses, and but strong communication is one thing that we look for, pay a close attention to, because, in order to be an effective problem solver, you need a strong communication, both to get client requirement and also communicate the result back. And we look for signs of, coherent thinker, because you need to be able to articulate this, tell a story and articulate. And when you're doing these interviews and your statement, we look for signs that, the students is able to, comprehend the problem and come up, with the coherent solutions. Yeah, so and career alignment. So is your goal aligned with the program's goal? Like if you are pursuing things that are not the program is particularly good at it, that's misalignment also is sometimes we'll look for signs that is the program goal and students' goals, career goals aligned.
Yeah, I very much agree with everything that's just said. I just want to add sort of my personal perspective. To me, it all boils down to 2 points. One, are you willing to work hard and learn? And this is very important because this is a specialty master program. There's got to be some challenge that comes with it, right? It's not going to be a program that you just sail through without any effort. So I don't really care, for me in my classroom, I don't really care what kind of background you have before this, but as long as you're willing to learn and put in the work, typically you will be able to be successful, at least in my course. Number 2 is, are you willing to work with others? Because real world analytics projects, rarely can be done by a single person. You need to work with others in a group setting to solve problems. So are you the type of person who are willing to take responsibility and work professionally with other students and other clients? To me, it boils down to those 2 points.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope this really helps everyone in the audience to get an understanding about what is it that the Carlson School of Management is looking at. I know we are done with our times. I'm going to take up very quick 2 short questions. One, Garth, is do you all accept DET scores as well?
I'm not familiar with that. So if that person wants to follow up with me directly and ask questions about those scores, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, that's the Duolingo English test scores. But
Yes, we
they
do
can.
accept Duolingo. Yes, and that
Okay.
is all. The Duolingo minimum score is highlighted on that link that I posted quite recently for the application requirements.
Great, great. I hope that answers your question, Jyotsna. One last question. I know quite a few of you have still asked questions, and to those in the Q&A box, your questions which are still pending, we have taken up these questions in one form or the other. There are quite a few links which have been posted in the chat window by the people from Carlson. You can connect with them or get onto one of those sites and get answers to your questions as well. We hope that really helps you understand more about the university and what is it that you are looking for. My last question is there any option for teacher assistantship for your PhD students? Is that something that you offer at Carlson for the MSBA program or later for the PhD programs?
So I can't speak to the PhD programs. Maybe Mochen and Doug can speak on that a little bit. But in terms of graduate assistantships and TA assistantships, we get a lot of questions about this. So we don't offer those through the admissions process. Historically, some students have been able to seek those out once they arrive on campus, and they're able to balance that. What I will say is that's not something that the program necessarily recommends, just because, as has been emphasized during this program or during this session today, this is a comprehensive, fast-paced academic program, highly technical.
Yeah.
So we want to be sure that students are able to dedicate themselves fully to their academics. But again, that being said, there have been some students that have successfully been able to seek those out after they arrive on campus. But I'm not sure about the doctoral point.
Yeah, for PhD program, the answer is yes. Not only can you seek out TA, you are required to do it. I think that's how you get paid.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I think we are going to end the session for now. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. And there are quite a few links for all 260 of you who are still in the chat room in the session. Please feel free to connect with them. We will also share all of these links with you along with the video recording link in case you've missed out on anything. I would like to thank all of the three panelists who were here with us today. Thank you so much for your time and giving us these wonderful insights. And yeah, looking forward to connecting with you all again soon.